The major key to your better future is you, and the major tool is your focus. Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you a question. When was the last time you trained your mind? I don't mean scrolling your phone. I don't mean reacting to emails. I mean real focus, real intention, that razor-sharp clarity that cuts through the noise and builds a life worth living. Because here's the truth. Your mind is your most powerful asset. But like any asset, it must be trained, focused, directed, disciplined. You don't drift to greatness. You decide to go there. You don't stumble into success. You focus your way there. Now, most people don't lose because they're not capable. They lose because they're distracted. They chase every shiny thing. They major in minor things. And they wonder why their life feels scattered, unfinished, overwhelmed. But not you. Not today. Today, you're going to learn the power of daily focus, how to protect it, how to sharpen it, how to use it to build a life of clarity, purpose, and achievement. Because if you can control your focus, you can control your future. So let's get started. Let's train the most important muscle you've got, your mind. What you think about, you bring about. Let me start with a principle so simple, and yet so powerful. It could change the entire course of your life. You become what you think about, not what you wish for, not what you hope for, what you consistently think about. Now that may sound like just another quote you'd find on a coffee mug, but don't be fooled. This is no gimmick. This is the foundational law of success. Because here's how life really works. Your thoughts shape your beliefs shape your actions, and your actions shape your destiny. So the big question becomes, what are you thinking about? Let me ask it another way. What plays on the theater of your mind all day long? Are you rehearsing problems? Are you visualizing failure? Are you focusing on what you don't have instead of what you can build? See, the average person is running the same thought loop every day on autopilot. And the problem is, that loop is often filled with doubt, fear, limitation, and distraction. And then they wonder why they're stuck. They say, Jim, nothing's working out for me. And I say, friend, change the channel in your mind. You're tuned into worry instead of solution, fear instead of faith, excuses instead of action. Your mind is a garden, and every day you're planting seeds. Whether you mean to or not, you plant seeds of confidence or self-doubt, seeds of clarity or confusion, seeds of discipline or delay. And let me tell you something, the garden doesn't care what you plant. It just grows what you feed it. So feed it well. Feed it ideas that stretch you. Feed it visions that pull you. Feed it goals so big, they scare you a little and excite you a lot. Because here's the secret. Whatever you hold in your mind on a consistent basis, you will eventually hold in your hand. Now some people hear that and say, Jim, that sounds a little too positive. And I say, good. Maybe it's time you tried something positive for a change. Let me challenge you today to do a simple thing. Take control of your mental playlist. Don't just let anything play in there. Don't give the DJ job to fear or to Facebook or to somebody who gave up on their dreams 10 years ago. You're the gatekeeper. You decide what gets airtime. And yes, it takes effort. Just like physical fitness takes repetition, mental fitness takes daily conditioning. Affirm the good, reject the junk, interrupt the negative, and direct your thoughts toward where you want to go, not where you're afraid to end up. Write down your goals, visualize the win, speak the success you want to attract. And when the old thoughts come back, and they will, you just smile and say, thanks for the reminder. But I'm focused on something better now. You can't stop every thought from coming, but you can stop them from taking root. You can stop them from building a home in your head. That's what power thinking is all about. It's not magic. It's mental discipline. It's about knowing that your thoughts are the steering wheel and your focus is the driver. So drive it well, because if you don't run your mind, it will run you. Let today be the day you take back the keys. What you think about, you bring about. So think better and live better. Focus is a discipline, not a talent. Let me clear something up right away. Focus is not something you're born with. It's not a gift handed out at birth, like blue eyes or curly hair. It's not reserved for the few who seem naturally driven or unusually disciplined. No, focus is a discipline. That means it's something you build, not something you inherit. And like any discipline, it starts small and it grows with use. Now you've probably heard someone say, I just can't focus like other people. But here's the reality. They can. They've just never practiced. Because nobody stumbles into discipline. Discipline is developed. And here's how it works. Discipline begins with a decision. A simple one. A decision to direct your attention. Not once in a while, but every single day. Because if you don't direct your focus, I promise you, something else will. Distractions are aggressive. They don't knock. They barge in. Notifications, emails, social media, television, other people's priorities. If you don't claim your mind, the world will rent it out for cheap. That's why I say, you've got to be the captain of your mental ship. Set the course, lock in the target, and keep steering, even when the waters get rough. Now let me give you a principle worth writing down. What gets scheduled gets done. If it matters to you, it deserves a place on your calendar. Don't leave your focus to chance. Design it. Set focus hours. That's time you block out every day just to think, to plan, to build, to create. No interruptions, no multitasking, just you and your goal. You see, talent may open the door, but discipline keeps you in the room. And focus, that consistent, deliberate attention to what matters, is the bridge between your goals and your results. Now here's the mistake most people make. They wait for motivation. They wait to feel like it. Let me tell you, if I had to wait until I felt like it, I'd still be broke, tired, and stuck in neutral. You don't wait for focus. You build it, you train it, you protect it, and you start with one thing at a time. That's another key. Don't try to focus on 10 things. Focus is not a shotgun, it's a laser. You want results? Narrow your aim. Pick your target. One goal, one task, one priority. And here's the good news. Every time you follow through, your focus gets stronger. Every time you say no to a distraction, your discipline sharpens. Every time you finish what you start, you build confidence. That's the beauty of it. Discipline multiplies. Focus compounds. And the person you become along the way, that's the real reward. So don't envy the focused. Join them. Don't wish for more attention. Train it. Don't wait to feel ready. Get started anyway. Because once you realize that focus is not a mystery, but a method, that it's not a blessing, but a behavior, then you can stop hoping for clarity and start creating it. You don't need more talent. You need more training. You don't need a better brain. You need a better habit. And when you develop the daily discipline to protect your focus, there's no limit to what you can build, create, or become. Focus is a choice, and it's yours to make today. The power of the morning mindset. Let me share with you one of the greatest discoveries of my life. How you start the day determines how you live the day. If you want better days, don't start with chaos. Start with clarity. If you want to win the afternoon, you've got to win the first hour. You see, your morning mindset isn't just a routine, it's your launch pad. It sets the tone. It sets the pace. It programs your mind for performance before the world has a chance to pull you off track. Now most people, you know what they do. They wake up late. They grab their phone. They scroll through nonsense. And then they wonder why their day feels scattered. Here's what I say. Don't start your day with the world's noise. Start it with your own voice. Start it with vision. Start it with purpose. Because your first thoughts shape your next steps. And if you want to control the outcome, you've got to control the opening. So let me give you a simple tool. I call it the first 5 formula. Just 5 minutes each morning, but it can change your life. Here's how it works. Minute 1. Gratitude. Start by giving thanks. Not for something big, just something real. A breath, a sunrise, a second chance. Gratitude clears the fog. It reminds you life is not an obligation, it's a gift. Minute 2. Goals. Review your top goals. Read them out loud. Feel the energy behind them. Remind yourself what you're chasing and why it matters. Because what you repeat, you retain. And what you retain, you reproduce. Minute 3. Visualization. Now close your eyes and see the win. See yourself succeeding. See yourself calm, clear, and in control. Winners don't just act, they see before they do. Minute 4. Priorities. Ask yourself, what matters most today? Pick your top 3 tasks. Not 10, not 20, just 3. Focus brings power. Overwhelm brings procrastination. Minute 5. Affirmation and action. Speak life into your day. Say it with certainty. I'm focused, I'm strong, I'm disciplined, I'm ready. And then move. Take that first action. Even if it's small, it sets the tone. Now don't underestimate the power of 5 minutes. 5 minutes of direction beats 5 hours of distraction. 5 minutes of clarity beats a whole day of confusion. This is where champions are made in the morning. You don't rise to the level of your intentions. You rise to the level of your preparation. So prepare with purpose. Here's the truth. The world will throw chaos at you. Unexpected problems, bad news, other people's agendas. But if your mind is right, your response will be right. And that's the difference between those who react to life and those who lead it. Your morning is your foundation. And if the foundation is strong, the structure can stand. So let me leave you with this. Don't let your morning happen to you. Make it happen for you. Train your focus the moment you wake up. Guard your mindset like it's your fortune, because it is. And remember, if you own the morning, you win the day. Don't major in minor things. Let me tell you something I learned early on in my journey to success. Most people don't fail because of a lack of ambition. They fail because of poor focus. They spend their days chasing ants while the elephants trample the garden. And here's what I mean by that. They major in minor things. Now, what are minor things, you ask? It's spending hours rearranging your desk while your dreams sit idle. It's arguing on social media while your finances fall apart. It's being busy all day and yet making no real progress. I call it motion without meaning, activity without achievement, being incredibly occupied but not effective. And friend, let me warn you, this is a silent thief. It doesn't come to rob you all at once. No, it takes your future bit by bit, task by task, scroll by scroll. Here's a simple rule to live by. Never trade what matters for what distracts. Now that takes maturity. That takes clarity. That takes focus. Let me ask you, what's really important to you? Is it your health, your family, your mission, your financial freedom? Then let your calendar reflect that. Let your habits reflect that. Let your thoughts reflect that. You see, it's not enough to know your priorities. You've got to live them. Because when you give major time to minor things, the price is too high. So here's the next step in our power thinking journey. You've got to do a focus audit. Yes, an honest look at how you're spending your time and attention. Here's a simple exercise. Take out a sheet of paper and draw a line down the middle. On the left, write major things. On the right, write minor things. Now list what you spend your day doing. Checking email, scrolling, complaining, or building, learning, planning, connecting, and then ask yourself, which side am I living on? Because if the minor is crowding out the major, something's got to change. And listen, this isn't about being perfect. This is about being intentional. You can't control everything, but you can control what gets your best effort. I always say, a few simple disciplines practiced every day lead to success. A few errors in judgment repeated daily, and disaster creeps in. Well, focusing on the wrong things is one of those errors. It may feel harmless in the moment, but it adds up. Days become weeks, weeks become years, and suddenly the life you wanted is buried under a pile of distractions. So let's turn it around. Here's your challenge. Identify your top 3 major goals. Schedule time for them daily, even 30 minutes. Say no to what doesn't serve them. Protect your time like it's your treasure, because it is. Remember, you're not supposed to do everything. You're supposed to do the right things. The things that move the needle, that build the dream, that create the life you want. So don't get caught up in urgency. Focus on impact. Don't let busyness become your excuse. Make clarity your guide, because a clear focus beats scattered effort every time. And finally, never forget, your life is too important to be wasted on the unimportant. So from this day forward, don't major in minor things. Major in the major. That's where success lives. Your environment shapes your focus. Let me give you a truth that's easy to overlook, but impossible to ignore. You can't stay focused in a place built for distraction. Your environment, friend, it matters. It shapes you. Whether you notice it or not, it pulls you up or drags you down. It pushes you forward or holds you back. And here's the kicker. You're always being influenced by what you see, what you hear, where you work, who you talk to. So let me ask you, is your environment making success easier or harder? See, you can have big goals, strong habits, and powerful dreams. But if you spend every day surrounded by clutter, chaos, and negativity, it's like trying to sprint through mud. Your focus becomes a fight. That's why I say, your surroundings are either supporting your focus or sabotaging it. Let's start with something simple. Your physical space. Take a look at your desk, your room, your digital workspace. Does it feel like a launch pad or a landfill? Does it energize you or exhaust you? I believed where you are affects who you are. So set up your space to match your standards. Clear the clutter, organize your tools, eliminate what doesn't serve your mission, because when your space is clean, your mind becomes clear, and clarity is the fuel of focus. Now, let's talk about something even more powerful. People. The people around you are like elevators. Some lift you higher, some take you down, and some, well, they don't move at all. They just keep the doors open while your dreams get delayed. You've got to be intentional about who gets access to your focus. Are you surrounded by complainers or creators, talkers or doers? People who waste time or people who value it? Here's a principle worth remembering. Association matters. If you hang around 5 unfocused people, you'll be number 6. But surround yourself with 5 focused, driven, disciplined minds, and you'll rise with them. Your environment isn't just a place, it's a mirror. It reflects your values, your vision, your level of discipline. So if you want to think better, then you've got to live better. And that starts with building an environment that breathes focus. Here are a few simple ways to start. 1. Create a focus zone. A space where you go to work. No distractions allowed. Phone off. Tabs closed. Intentions clear. 2. Set boundaries. Let the people around you know when you're in the zone, you're unavailable. Not rude, just focused. 3. Curate your input. What you listen to, read, and watch. All of it programs your mind. Feed it truth, discipline, and inspiration, not garbage. 4. Audit your circle. Spend more time with people who challenge you, grow you, stretch you. That's the kind of environment that forges focus. So here's the big takeaway. If your goal is important, then your environment must reflect it. Don't leave it to chance. Don't assume it'll fix itself. Design it, build it, protect it. Because once you take control of your space, once you clean up the distractions, once you surround yourself with people and tools that support your growth, your focus will no longer be a struggle. It will be a natural outcome. So remember, success doesn't just come from within. It's also built by what's around you. Shape your environment, and it will shape your future. Interruptions are the enemy of excellence. If there's one silent killer of focus, progress, and personal excellence, it's this: interruption. Now don't get me wrong. Life will always have surprises. The phone will ring, the door will knock, the kids will shout, the boss will email. The world, my friend, doesn't wait quietly. But here's the truth I've learned. You can't create anything meaningful while constantly responding to the meaningless. Let me say that again. You can't build excellence in an environment that keeps pulling you away from the task at hand. Why? Because deep work requires deep presence. Excellence doesn't happen when you're half in, half out. It doesn't grow in the cracks between conversations, texts, and distractions. It needs space. It needs rhythm. It needs attention without interruption. And most people never get there, because their day is a ping-pong match of reactions. They wake up reactive. They check their phone before they've even checked in with their mind. They answer emails during breakfast, take calls in the middle of thinking, and wonder why they feel overwhelmed by noon. Let me tell you something. The cost of constant interruption is invisible, until it isn't. You don't just lose minutes, you lose momentum. Every interruption has a recovery time. Studies show it can take 20 minutes to regain full concentration after just one distraction. Now multiply that by 10, 15, 20 times a day, and you've lost your edge without even knowing it. So what do? We don't try to live in a bubble. We create barriers for our brilliance. We put up fences so we can plant deep roots. Here's what I recommend. 1. Set focus hours every day. Pick 1 or 2 blocks of time where nothing gets in. No calls, no texts, no tabs open. Just one thing, your most important work. Make it sacred. Make it consistent. 2. Silence the noise. Turn off every unnecessary notification. You don't need to know every time someone likes your photo or updates their status. What you do need is time to build the life you said you wanted. 3. Train people to respect your time. If you always say yes, don't be surprised when people keep interrupting. Let others know when you're available and when you're not. That's not rude. That's responsible. 4. Batch the small stuff. Check email 2 or 3 times a day, not 30. Group small tasks together. Don't let little things steal prime mental energy. Now let me give you a truth to write down. Success is not doing everything. It's doing the right things. Without interruption, long enough to make a difference. That's it. That's the formula. Interruptions aren't just inconvenient. They're expensive. They rob you of excellence. They delay your future. They weaken your confidence. And here's the most dangerous part. The interruptions that steal your time don't feel like thieves. They feel like habits, like harmless conversations, like quick checks. But those quick checks have cost people years of unrealized potential. So guard your time, guard your focus, guard your greatness. Because every moment you protect is a brick in the wall of your success. Every task completed with deep, uninterrupted effort brings you one step closer to mastery. So I challenge you, be ruthless about your time. Be generous with your purpose. And never forget, excellence isn't achieved in the gaps. It's built in the zones where nothing else is allowed in. Protect your focus, because your future depends on it. Train the mind to return. Let me tell you something about the human mind. It wanders, it drifts, it gets distracted. And that's normal. But here's what separates the average from the achievers. The achievers have trained their mind to return. They don't wait for perfect focus. They don't pretend to be superhuman. They simply develop the habit of coming back again and again, no matter how many times they drift. You see, the goal is not perfection. The goal is persistence. Now maybe you've said this before. Jim, I try to focus, but my mind keeps wandering. To which I say, good, that means you're human. But here's the real question. When your mind wanders, do you let it stay there or do you bring it back? Because focus isn't about staying perfectly locked in. It's about returning faster, stronger, and more intentionally every single time you get pulled away. Think of it like this. If your thoughts were a dog on a leash, sometimes it wants to run. It sees a squirrel. It hears a sound. It darts left. It pulls right. And your job? Gently, firmly, and consistently guide it back. That's what we're doing with focus. We don't get mad when the mind drifts. We don't give up when we lose momentum. We just train ourselves to return. Again, and again, and again. Let me give you a strategy that works. 1. Use a focus anchor. Pick one word, phrase, or even an image that brings your mind back to center. Something like back to work, or stay with it. Every time your thoughts drift, repeat your anchor out loud if you have to. The mind follows command. Give it 1, 2. Set return points throughout the day. Pause every hour and ask, am I focused right now? Am I still on the task that matters most? If the answer is no, don't beat yourself up. Just return. 3. Practice one thing thinking. Multitasking is not a strength. It's a trap. Focus on one thing at a time. Train your brain that when it's time to do something, that's all we do. 4. Forgive the drift. Celebrate the return. Most people quit because they think losing focus means they've failed. But that's not true. What matters is that you notice and you correct. That's success. That's mastery. Let me give you a truth worth repeating. It's not about how often your mind drifts. It's about how fast you bring it back. Every return is a rep. Just like a push-up builds your body. Each time you return your mind, you build mental muscle. You get better. You get sharper. You get stronger. So stop trying to be flawless. Be faithful. Train the return. Make it a habit. Make it automatic. Because if you learn how to come back, if you make that your daily practice, then distraction can no longer control you. You control it. You become the master of your mind, not the victim of its habits. And the result? You start finishing more. You start thinking clearer. You start building momentum. And that, my friend, is what separates the drifters from the doers. So the next time your focus slips, don't panic. Don't quit. Just say, I drifted, now I return. And the more you return, the longer you'll stay. Focus isn't found. It's trained. And it's trained by the return. Use the power of written focus. Let me give you one of the simplest yet most powerful tools in the world. A pen and a piece of paper. Yes, that's it. Because when you take what's in your mind and you put it on paper, everything changes. You see, most people are walking around with 1,000 thoughts in their head. Ideas, plans, worries, dreams, distractions, all swirling together. And then they wonder why they feel overwhelmed. Here's what I learned early on. Don't trust your memory. Put it in writing. Because the moment you write it down, you begin to think more clearly. You begin to see what matters. And once you can see it, you can aim at it. Let me give you a principle that changed my life. Writing turns thoughts into targets. That's what focus really is. It's aimed attention. It's knowing exactly what you're working toward and exactly what step comes next. And writing is the bridge that gets you there. Now I know what some people say, Jim, I know what I need to do. It's all up here. Well, let me tell you something. Up here is a terrible place to store your future. The mind is a factory, not a filing cabinet. It's meant to produce ideas, not to carry the weight of all your plans, tasks, and goals. That's what paper is for. So here's my challenge to you. Start writing your focus every day. Don't just think it. Don't just hope you'll remember it. Write it, review it, repeat it. Let me show you how. 1. The Focus 3 list. Every morning, write down your top 3 priorities for the day. Not 10, not 20, just 3. What are the most important things that deserve your best energy? Focus isn't about doing more, it's about doing what matters. First 2. Carry a small notebook or journal. Ideas don't always come at convenient times. They pop up while driving, walking, or in the middle of a conversation. And if you don't catch them, they're gone. Always be ready to write. Capture the thought, then act on it later. 3. Use written affirmations and goals. Write your goals daily. Write who you want to become. Write what kind of life you're building. When you write something often enough, it becomes part of your mental wiring. You start to believe it. You start to build it. 4. Review and reflect. At the end of the day, review what you wrote. Did you follow through? Did you stay focused? If not, don't judge. Adjust. Success leaves clues. And the clues are in your notebook. Now here's a truth for you. When you write it down, you take it more seriously. A goal in your head is a wish. A goal on paper, that's a plan. And plans are what focused people follow. Let me tell you something else. Writing creates commitment, because once it's written, it's real. You can't ignore it. You can't pretend you forgot. It's there staring back at you. And that's a good thing. That's how you grow. That's how you get serious. Because life doesn't respond to vague hopes. Life responds to written clarity. So from now on, don't just carry your focus in your mind. Carry it in your hand. Write your goals. Write your priorities. Write your affirmations. Write your ideas. Because what you write, you remember. What you review, you refine. And what you focus on in writing, you bring to life. So don't underestimate the power of that pen. Write it down. Look at it daily. And let your focus take shape on paper before it becomes real in your life. That's how winners think. And more importantly, that's how they write. Feed your mind the right fuel. Let me ask you something. What are you feeding your mind? Because just like your body can't thrive on junk food, your mind can't focus on mental junk. Now that may sound simple, but don't miss this. Your focus, your discipline, your clarity, they are all fueled by your mental diet. And here's the principle. What you put in eventually comes out. Garbage in, confusion, doubt, distraction out. But wisdom in, clarity, action, and direction come out. So if you want power thinking, you've got to fuel your mind with powerful content. Let me give you the version of the truth. Every day you're either feeding your mind or starving your future. And most people, sadly, are starving. They wake up to bad news. They spend hours scrolling nonsense. They soak in drama, gossip, and negativity. And then they wonder why they feel anxious, scattered, or unmotivated. That's not a mystery. That's a diet problem. You can't build strength on sugar. And you can't build success on noise. So what do? You start to curate what you consume. You start to become selective about what you allow into your mental environment. Here's the strategy. 1. Start the day with mental nutrition. Before you pick up the phone, before the news, the emails, the noise, feed your mind something that builds you. A short podcast, a few pages of a great book, a quote that lights a fire. Start with truth, not with traffic. 2. Create a personal growth plan. Ask yourself, what am I studying this month? What skill am I improving? What topic am I mastering? Read 10 pages a day. Listen to one new idea a week. Apply one principle a month, because a mind that is growing is a mind that stays focused. 3. Avoid the mental poison. Cut back on the things that clutter your head. Gossip, drama, useless entertainment, pessimistic people. These things feel harmless, but they dull your edge. You don't need more distraction. You need more direction. And the more junk you remove, the more space you make for wisdom. 4. Reread, re-listen, relearn. Don't just chase new ideas. Master the right ideas. Go back to the book that changed you. Replay the message that woke you up. Revisit the truth that sparked your fire. Because repetition is the mother of learning, and focus thrives on clarity. Now here's an insight I want you to keep close. Stand guard at the door of your mind. You wouldn't let just anyone walk into your house and throw trash on your floor. So why let just any idea into your mind to clutter your thinking? Be selective. Be intentional. Because your mind is a garden. You can grow flowers, or you can grow weeds. It depends on what you plant and what you allow. So ask yourself, what am I feeding my focus? Is this helping me grow or pulling me away from my goals? Make no mistake, the quality of your input determines the strength of your output. If you want better decisions, feed your mind better ideas. If you want more discipline, feed your mind more truth. If you want unstoppable focus, fuel your mind with unstoppable content. So from this day forward, be a builder of your mind. Be a student of wisdom. Be intentional about every message, every voice, every influence. Because in the end, you are not just what you eat. You are what you read, what you listen to, what you dwell on. So feed your focus the right fuel and watch your life catch fire. Reflection turns focus into wisdom. Let me share a truth that very few people understand. Experience alone doesn't make you wiser. Evaluated experience does. Reflected experience does. Focused reflection is the bridge between where you've been and what you can become. You see, most people live their lives on autopilot. They go through the day, check the boxes, respond to what's urgent, and then fall asleep exhausted, but not enlightened. They're busy, but not better. They're active, but not aware. And that's the trap, to live life without learning from it. Here's what I've learned from the most successful people I've met. They pause, they think, they study their day, and then they extract the lesson. Why? Because they understand this powerful truth. Focus plus reflection equals wisdom. It's not just about doing more. It's about learning more from what you do. You've got to review your performance. You've got to observe your patterns. You've got to ask yourself the right questions daily. So let me give you a simple tool I call the daily debrief. It's not complicated. It takes 5-10 minutes, but it can change your life if you do it consistently. 1. What did I do well today? Start with wins, even the small ones. Did you follow through on your priorities? Did you stay focused? Did you choose discipline over distraction? Celebrate that. Reinforce it. That's how confidence is built. 2. Where did I drift? Now be honest. Where did your focus fade? Where did interruptions win? Where did the minor things sneak in and steal time from the major? Don't judge. Just observe. Awareness is the first step to adjustment. 3. What did I learn? Every day carries a lesson. If you're willing to listen, did you learn something about yourself, about others, about what works or what doesn't? This is where wisdom is formed, in extracted insight. 4. What's my focus for tomorrow? End with direction. Decide what matters most before the morning rush decides for you. That's how you walk into the next day with intention, not just reaction. Now let me tell you something I've practiced for years. Keep a journal. Yes, an actual notebook. A place where your thoughts, lessons, questions, and answers live. Not everything needs to be shared. Some things just need to be understood. And writing them down helps you understand yourself. Because when you capture the past, you empower the future. When you reflect with purpose, you grow with direction. Let me give you a classic line. Days are expensive. When you spend a day, you have one less to spend. So make sure you spend each one wisely. And how do you do that? You end the day with focus, just like you started it. You reflect so you can improve. You review so you can refine. That's how you take average days and turn them into stepping stones to greatness. So don't just work hard. Work smart. Don't just grind. Grow. And don't let your effort go to waste by rushing into tomorrow before learning from today. Because life rewards the reflective. Life promotes those who pay attention. So here's your challenge. Every night before the lights go out, take a few minutes. Ask the right questions. Capture the insight. Refocus your attention. Because when you reflect, you don't just close the day. You open the next one with wisdom. And that, my friend, is how focus becomes legacy. Focus is a daily practice, not a one-time decision. So here we are at the end of our journey, but hopefully just the beginning of a new mindset. Let me remind you of something simple but profound. Focus is not something you find once and keep forever. No, focus is a decision you make every single day. Not once, not twice, every day. It's a discipline, it's a choice, and it's a practice. You don't wake up focused by accident. You become focused by habit, by structure, by commitment. You see, life is always pulling at you. The phone buzzes, the world shouts, distractions multiply, and the urgent tries to choke out the important. That's why you can't afford to drift. You can't afford to live by default. You have to live by design. Because without intentional focus, the day slips away, the week slips away, the year slips away, and eventually, so does the dream. But with focus, with discipline, with power thinking practiced daily, you become the architect of your future. Now let's remember what we've learned. What you think about, you bring about. Focus is a discipline, not a talent. Mornings shape the day. You must major in the major things. Your environment can make or break your clarity. Interruptions are the enemies of excellence. You must train the mind to return. Written focus creates direction. Your mind needs the right fuel, and reflection turns effort into wisdom. Each of these ideas isn't just inspiration. It's instruction. They are tools. And when used daily, they change how you live, how you lead, and how you grow. So what's the takeaway? Don't leave focus to chance. Don't wait for perfect conditions. Don't wish for clarity. Create it. Make focus your daily discipline. Make it part of your rhythm, your ritual, your routine. Because here's the final truth. You don't rise to the level of your intentions. You rise to the level of your practiced focus. So choose it, train it, guard it, live it, and watch what happens when your energy, your thoughts, and your purpose all move in the same direction. That's when ordinary becomes extraordinary. That's when dreams become results. That's when your life becomes a masterpiece. All because you chose to focus, and you chose to do it daily. Now go and build a life worth paying attention to.